Just waiting for the recording. Okay, yeah. Colleagues, the recording is on. Again, a reminder to please mute mics during the session. A reminder to please mute mics during the session. We are here for a tender for the Vaal University of Technology for the repairs and renovations of Ubuntu Residence main campus, tender number PU7215/086. Tender for repairs and renovations of Ubuntu Residence at the main campus, tender number PU7215/086. Colleagues, of course, if you're not here for this tender, you are still welcome to stay. But just note that this tender is for the specific project. My name is Tepo Mampuru. I'm a contracts manager here at Perco SA and will be assisting in the facilitation of this process until the end. I am joined by my colleagues from VUT, or Mr. Sislamteku, who is the project owner in this regard, and he will, in due course, also go through the scope of work and also give a bit more details in terms of what the project is about. On the call, colleagues is also colleagues from Perco SA itself, Podisa Makono, Mulimushira Makolo, who will also be assisting us with this session. I see several suppliers already inserting their details into the chat box. It seems they have attended previous sessions that we had over the past 2 weeks. Colleagues, this is a compulsory briefing session, meaning attendance of the session is compulsory in order for you to participate in the tender. So how we're going to verify attendance of the session is that to please insert your company details in the chat box on this forum. So in the chat box, please insert your company name, contact person, email address, and contact number. That is the mechanism we're going to use to verify that you have attended this session. Colleagues, please just take your time to complete those details. You will see in the bid document, for those who have purchased the bid document, that there is also a document that you need to complete in order to confirm attendance. But that coupled with what I'm saying now for you to complete your details in the matchbox are what we're going to use as a proof to verify your attendance of the session. I will go through the document, colleagues, but I won't go through each page of the document. We're not skipping it because it's less important. Obviously, in the interest of time, we have to touch on the key aspects. But again, the onus is on you to go back, colleagues, and read each page of the bid document, read each clause of the bid document, and make sure that you understand and interpret it accordingly. Again, we're not going to go through each page of the bid document, but again, I'm putting it back to you to please go back and read each section of this bid document. The front page, colleagues, is where you'll complete just your contact details, your CIDB grading, B level, and etc., etc. Contact person again there. So please complete this page. You'll see at the bottom there is a price offer section. Accompanying this bid document is a BOQ price list that we request that you use that. It is in PDF. We are not going to issue an Excel for reasons, obviously, that the university feel that it's best that it must be done in PDF. But the final price offer must be inputted here in this section, this last column here. But there must be correlation between the itemized BOQ price list and here, colleagues. But again, we urge that you complete the BOQ price list and also input the pricing in this section as well. Page 2 of the bid document is just a table of contents, which covers the documentation that we've covered here. So I won't go through that. Tender notice and invitation to tender. This again is covering what I've already covered in terms of the description of the tender, repairs and renovations of Ubuntu residents. It's a 5 GB or higher grading required, colleagues, for this tender. 5 GB or higher required. We are currently in an online compulsory tender briefing session taking place today, the 13th of June, from 9 to 10. It is a compulsory session. Verification of attendance of the session is for you to please input your contact details in the match box in this forum. Your company name, contact person, email address, contact number, etc. That is what we're going to use to verify that you've attended this compulsory briefing session. Below is just a link to attend the session, but it was also included in the advert. The document is still available for purchase at a fee of 1150, VAT inclusive. Colleagues, payment for the bid is online using the POCOSA portal. So what you'll do, you'll visit our website, you'll go into the tender page, you'll see on the tender page there's various tenders that we're running. You click on the specific tender that you want to purchase, in this case, the repairs and renovation of Ubuntu residence at VUT main campus. It'll take you to a payment portal, where at that payment portal, which is run by PayFast, you'll be required obviously to logging into your individual or respective banking online banking platform. You'll see all the banks are listed there. You'll go into your own individual bank. You'll process the payment, and then after that, you'll be redirected back to the Percoso website in order to download the document. Colleagues, it's literally a 5-second process, or even less. Once you're in your banking app. So again, it's just an interface. There's no way your details are captured on the Perco SA website, and also details on the Pegasus website are not captured in your bank. It's equivalent to an EFT that you'll be doing. The only thing is that unique payment reference number that you will have when you enter into that a portal is what will obviously confirm that you've made payment for the bid document. So no physical documents will be issued. It's online payments for the bits and downloading accordingly, colleagues. So please don't go to the university or come to the Progressor office in order to get this tender document.
Sorry,
Colleagues,
sir.
yeah,
I see a hand, and I'm not sure what is in regard to.
okay. Colleagues, number 117, do you want to say something? It just says 117457. I don't know who's this.
Yes, Tepo.
Yes, yes.
I just wanted to find out, we're going to follow the same process in terms of where the chat box is not available for me to send you an email to confirm attendance for this compulsory briefing.
All right, correct. Yes, colleagues. So what we've been doing with the other sessions is that I think when you log in as a guest on the platform, you don't get access to the chat box. Please immediately during the session or even after send an email to confirm that indeed you did attend the session. Give us your company details and your details obviously that you used to log into the session, because we'll cross check the email. We'll also cross check again in terms of our attendance that we see here, because we're able to see in terms of who's currently on this session. Again, don't mislead anyone or colleagues or the process. Don't get yourself into unnecessary tangles. Please just follow the rules of the game in terms of the terms and conditions of the bid document. Colleagues, then again, I was just alluding to the fact that the tender document is still available online for purchase, so you're able to obviously still go through that process. Our colleagues allow for a Q&A at the end, so just for now, hold on the hands. We'll have a session right at the end on that aspect. In terms of submission of the bid, colleagues, the tender is closing on the 27th of June 2022 at 23:59. It's an online submission using the PokerSafe portal. So it's not a physical submission. It is an online submission. You will see in the bid document there is a link that you will have to that you'll use in order to submit your proposal. This link is unique to this tender. So you'll see once you click on this link, it'll take you to a submission portal where you're able to start to upload all your documents as per the evaluation criteria of the tender. Again, it's a seamless, easy to use platform. I don't think you'll have challenges. We've used it for a couple of years and very secure. Colleagues, from a security perspective, we are unable to access that portal until the closing date and time. So that page is specific for you as the user. You'll see, colleagues, between now and the closing date, you'll be able to go back to that portal. It's very interactive in the sense that obviously you can conclude your downloading later. So don't think that obviously once you've logged in, you're unable to go back again. You will be able to go back again. The only issue is that you must use obviously your username and password that you've been using all along. So again, please cross-check with the people purchasing the bid document, because those are the details that you're going to have to use in order to access that portal and do your submissions and etc. etc. colleagues. So again, like I've done with other bits, the urge is that you please, even after the session, click on the link, go into the page, familiarize yourself with the portal, make sure you understand all the requirements, all of those things, so that colleagues, again, you don't be stuck with a problem closer to the closing date of the tender. So again, our IC team is on standby to assist in this regard. But again, colleagues, I mean, if you want to contact us on the 27th of June at 7:45, we're unable to assist in that regard. So please go check now that everything's secure, you're able to use the platform, etc., etc., etc. Colleagues, for inquiries, please direct all inquiries regarding this tender to myself. My email address is there, tebo.mampur@percocet.co.za. Colleagues, please mute your mics. If you've just joined the session, please mute your mics. Thank you. My email address is here. Do not attempt to contact anybody at the university. Colleagues, all correspondence must be via email. You must please send an email and we'll give a response accordingly between ourselves and VUT. But please don't attempt to contact anyone at the university regarding this bid. All processes must follow the PERCOSE route in regard to contact details, and I am the only one who's been included in this bid document. Again, colleagues, I do plead with you to follow the rules of the game and the rules of engagement. Don't get yourself into unnecessary aspects of regarding this issue. Please just follow the process accordingly. Then again, these are just tender data on the next page, talking about the closing date, the validity period. I've already covered those. I won't go through that. Then the closes of the bid. So you'll see this is a standard sort of item line. And colleagues, please mute your mic. Please mute mic. Yeah. Standard clauses, colleagues, that you'll find in most VUT construction-related tenders, and so forth. Clause F.1.6.2.1 is a link that takes you to an opening session that we'll be having on the next day after the closure of the tender. Colleagues, that session is specifically only for reading of the bidders' names. No pricing will be read out at that session. It's not a compulsory session, so if you do not want to attend that session, you won't be disqualified from the bid. It's just in compliance with VUT policy that we have this session where we read out the names of the suppliers that have submitted proposals, and from there we proceed to evaluation. I repeat, it is not a compulsory session. We're just making it available for whoever wants to attend. From a communication, again, emphasis on going through the PERCOSE portal through myself. My email address is there. There's correspondence in terms of clarification on the tender there. Please read to understand. And etc. etc. Again, the submission link is here. The tender again closing on Monday, the 27th of June, 2022 at 23:59. The validity of the tender, 90 days. Again, a link to the opening session if you do wish to attend that, and so forth. Clause F.3.18, colleagues, speaks about a PERCOSE service fee, a 2% service fee that is payable to PERCOSE by the awarded supplier. Just a bit of background. PERCO SA is owned by all 26 public universities in the country, including VUT. They started the organization back in 1978. The purpose really is to assist in any procurement-related areas where obviously the respective institution is unable to fulfill those aspects for various reasons, capacity issues, control issues, third-party view over the process, and so forth, and et cetera, et cetera. So there's various reasons that could be done. But from a relationship perspective, please note that the 26 public universities own the institution, but we are a membership-based organization. We have 64 institutions that belong to the consortium, including TVET colleges, including private higher education institutions, and including some state-owned institutions such as the CSIR, National Research Foundation, and the SABS. So mostly state-owned institutions who are within the higher education sector or involved in research. So that you understand the relationship between ourselves and VUT, and you'll see with every POCO tender that is facilitated, there will be this 2% service fee that is payable by the awarded bidder. The BOQ does not make provision for an item line that has the 2% service fee, but you have to make provision for that in your pricing. I don't know where you'll put it. I mean, you will choose how you run your business, but just note that the 2% service fee is inclusive of your total bid price. It's not a separate pricing. If you neglect to obviously make provision for the 2% service fee, it will be a loss in your regard, in the sense that obviously it will be payable, and might affect obviously whatever profit approach that you had for this tender. So please note it's inclusive of the total bid price. Colleagues, then on page 9 is just a list of returnables. That again that you'll need to comply with in terms of the bid. That's the evaluation process. What we will do is that we'll make this available on our website, so you can see indeed how you're going to be evaluated in the tender. It has been a request that has been coming from other projects, so and I think it's a fair request that you can see how the tender will be evaluated over and above you complying with the deliverables of the project in the form of a scope of work. So in terms of T.2.1, list of returnable documents, these are all covered in terms of the functionality stage of the tender, which is a point scoring system, and you need to score a minimum set of points in order to proceed to the next stage of the tender. So I'm still going to cover that. I just want to cover the list of compulsory requirements. Colleagues, list of compulsory requirements mean exactly as that. Non-submission will lead to you not being considered for the tender, or your organization not being considered for the tender. It's compulsory that you submit these documents where applicable. For example, T.2.2.A, record of addenda to tender documents. So, colleagues, please mute mics as you join in the session. A record of addenda to tender documents, it's only where applicable, where it's been issued. Then it becomes compulsory. If it has not been issued, then it's not a compulsory requirement. Compulsory enterprise questionnaire, you'll see the document included here, you must complete. Proof of authorization of signatory must be fully completed, otherwise the tender will not be considered. Schedule of proposed subcontractors, it isn't there. Compulsory briefing meeting, again, please include your contact details, your company name into the match box here. If you're unable to have access to the match box, please send us an email now in this session to confirm that you did attend the session. And also, I think the request is fair that you also include the username that you used to access the session, so that we know. We will do our own verification, but please just stick to those requirements. Additional particulars concerning tenders against the document here, preference schedule on BEE, a copy of business entity registration, that's your CIPC you need to submit. Submit valid certificate of good standing with Workmen Compensation Commission as to COIDA. Registration with CSD, not older than 3 months, and then the CIDB registration printout. Already alluded that it's a minimum 5 GB as per the advert. So that is a compulsory section that obviously you need to comply with completely in order to proceed further in the tender. And the next stage of the tender is the functionality stage of the tender. So from page 10, what comes is just a cover letter that speaks about, again, it's cover letters linked to the functionality table that I just want to go through. So these are just cover letters, but all these aspects that I'm passing through now is linked to the page on functionality, which starts here on page 21. Again, it's a whole list. Financial standing, proof of working capital, at least 5% of the project value, letter of credit reference from suppliers, locality. So again, on the locality, colleagues, again, we are awarding favorable points, obviously, from the VAL area. The university executive has obviously urged that you take that into consideration. The university does not have a standard protocol when it comes to community engagement. It does not have that. But again, to be cognizant of the fact that this project is for the VAL area, whether you're approaching it from a subcontracting perspective or you're approaching it from a joint venture partnership, or you as a business entity, you need to take that into consideration. We know the history around VAT. and any other institution. So it's not just to single VUT out, but I mean, those aspects are key from a community engagement protocol. The university is not going to dictate how you go about doing that. We'll leave it to you as the business, obviously, to manage and see how you're going to go about doing that. So take note of the issues around, obviously, local engagement, be it subcontracting or any other form of business that obviously you belong to. Audit the financial statements. Again, we're very clear in terms of how we're going to award the points, experience and resource capacity, schedule of similar value and complete the project in the last 5 years, references from clients, detailed schedule of key support staff, schedule of proposed specialists and appropriate skills, competent management structure. Again, take note of the technical qualifications that we are requiring and the point scoring around that, technical approach and methodology, submission of detailed program, including how time will be managed, health and safety compliance, and so forth. Please note the health and safety compliance, at least a diploma at NQF level 6 and provide professional registration certificate with SAUSH. Again, we know there are other bodies from a health and safety perspective, but the approved specifications is this linked to the professional registration with SAUSH. Colleagues, please make sure you submit that when you obviously submit a CV with certified copy of qualification. Bidders need to score a minimum 70 points to proceed to the next evaluation criteria. So you need to get a minimum of 70 points in order to go through to the price and triple B stage of the tender. Like I've been saying with other bids, really, I would like colleagues to please go study this evaluation process. We are not in the business of eliminating suppliers. Really, the objective is that suppliers get to the pricing stage where you can assess the actual value that you're going to bring to the institution. So please don't take these aspects lightly, from compulsory, mandatory documents or returnable documents to the functionality stage. Make sure you take due care and due diligence when submitting all of these documents. Yeah, so in short, again, this is cover letters linked to the functionality stage. So I won't go through all of those. Again, please make sure that when you do purchase the bid document, you do go through each page of the bid document and make sure you understand. You're welcome to use your own legal team if you want to assess the bid document. But I think in my history, these things are straightforward and standard with any tender. What I'm going to do now, I see that your hand is up. I'm going to obviously now hand over to you to go over the scope of work, but also if there's anything else you want to add in terms of what I've shared, you're welcome to do so.
Thank you, Tshepo. Did you get the email that I sent you with the scope of work?
Oh, okay. Must I share for you? Okay, no problem.
Yes, please. And whilst you're on that, probably what the contractors can do is, with the service fee, they can price it with the P's and G's, so that it will be easy to pick it up, because the bill of quantities is itemized in such a way that it does not make allowance for that aspect of pricing. So if you put it on the P's and G's, at least you'll be able to carry it down to your pricing. So that will be my comment on that one before we go to the scope of work.
Okay. Look, that's fine. I think obviously, it's to help the bidders in terms of how, because you put together the BOQ with the team. But again, it's just said, guys, we don't want to, you must also treat it the way you want to treat it. Just make sure that it's inclusive in the pricing. But thank you, Mr. Mtogo, for that advice. You may proceed.
No, thanks. Can you just go through to the next page, please? That's just the index. Can it go to page 3? Yes, thanks. Welcome, everyone. I am Sipesihle Mthegu, Project Manager for VUT. As Tshepo indicated earlier, that the briefing is for the repairs and renovations of Ubuntu residents. of which it came about as a result of the 2016 Fees Must Fall protest. So the resident was bent down, and it's been advertised a few times, and this is a re-advert, in fact. So we are hoping that this time we are going to be able to find a suitable contractor so that we can finalize this. So in a nutshell, the residence has about 40 beds, 4 kitchenettes, and 4 TV rooms with 4 bathrooms. So that is just the layout of the residence. Can you go to the next page? Next slide, Sabon. Yes, thank you. This is just an aerial photograph. Right at the corner there, that is Ubuntu residence. This is the main campus residence in Funnel Bay Park, next to the main campus. The main campus is on your left when you go up. Next slide. Yeah, this is the floor plan of the ground and first floor of the residence. You will go through it, and please, when you do your pricing, do not measure from this. This is just for information purposes. Measure everything as per the bill of quantities that you have or that you will purchase. The high-level scope of work, you'll be removing existing work. There's a lot of rubble that needs to be removed and a lot of old furniture that needs to be removed. Brickwork, there was areas that were bent down. We'll just have to assess if they need to be demolished and rebuilt. Plaster work, paint work, installing of floor coverings, fixing of water pipes, installation of sanitary fittings, plumbing and drainage, installation of kitchen units, shelving and doors, fixing of broken window panes, and electrical work. So basically, it's just your general repairs and renovations. So there's nothing too technical about the scope. It's just a straightforward work. So those are the current pictures. Just to show you the condition of so all those things must go. Electrical work, there's nothing in the DB box, everything, and your bathtubs. When you go to the pricing, please make sure that when you're completing your bill of quantities, you use a black ink. No other form of writing will be acceptable other than black ink. And also, when you make a mistake on your tender document, please do not Tipex that, because it provides then an audit query saying that probably some of the internal staff or the guys that were doing the adjudication tampered with the document. So you just rule out whatever mistake that you made, sign next to it, and write the correct information that you need to write in there. So please make sure that you adhere to that. And also, when you go to your form of offer, please make sure that the tender amount is the same as with the numerical amount that you will put in there, of which all those amounts must be in line with your priced tender document. So make sure that everything is in line when you are submitting your document. So going back to what Tepo has spoken about in terms of your submissions, the document clearly indicates that the submissions are online at 23:59 on the 27th of June. I will say this, and I say it all the time, and unfortunately it always find people napping. You are submitting online. There will be a lot of you that will be submitting these documents, meaning that the traffic will be high. So make sure that you submit there's nothing stopping you to submit your document at 10 or at 8. Because even if you were submitting the document physically, you wouldn't want to be there 1 minute after the closing time, because then your efforts of completing this document and attending this this briefing session and buying the document will be futile. So technology will fail you at the last minute. So make sure that you submit your documents on time. Don't wait until it's 23:57 and then you want to start submitting your documents, because your computer will freeze. And then you will want to make an excuse that, no, I had a problem with the computer and we had load shedding and all those excuses will not work. So make sure that you submit on time to avoid any misfortunes that might happen. For me, it's I'll rather have a headache of trying to get a contractor on everyone than have 3 contractors submitting because the rest of you were late. So just make sure that you submit on time. With the I'm not sure, Tsepo, with the OHS in terms of the health and safety rep or officer, you have COH. There's also SACP-CMP. So I'm not sure on the other tenders where you spoke about that.
No, yeah, no, the decision is that you must stick to the scope of work and what has been approved.
Okay.
So yeah, it was highlighted that there will be other.
You're breaking up, Tsepo.
Sorry, I was saying it was. Hello, am I good now?
Yes, yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, I was saying, yes, you're quite correct. Obviously there's other health and safety aspects or qualifications, but we need to stick to the scope of work and the specifications. That was the decision taken on all the other tenders.
Okay, no problem. I was seeing some hands. I don't know if you can see them on your side.
Yes, I will open the Q&A
Okay.
shortly so that we can go through this. I'm just sharing, colleagues, it's just be mindful there is a BOQ price list, like we've said. So when you do purchase the document, you must get a complete bid document plus the BOQ, which, I mean, I won't go through it, but it is a document that looks like the one that I'm sharing currently right now. Again, please take cognizant of the fact that, you know, all aspects must correlate and match and all of those things. We won't be doing any calculations for anyone. So if you make errors, then, you know, it would be your own error. Also to highlight the aspect of starting to submit on time. The portal is available right now. You're able to go in and start submitting now. So don't wait again for the last minute. In the history that I've been at Perco, no excuse will be accepted. And in fact, no excuse is ever good enough. So let's play by the rules, colleagues. Okay, I'm going to now proceed to the Q&A section of the tender. So I'll request that you follow a process of raising your hand, following which then we'll give the appropriate answer to that question. I won't be taking a list of questions first. I'll follow a methodology of a question is asked and the answer is given where we can. So colleagues, the Q&A is officially opened. I think I see familiar. Sorry? I
was seeing some hands, so now I'm not seeing any.
Yeah, no, there's no hands. I think maybe the issues were probably addressed.
Guys,
Also,
I know that we might be good, but we are not that good. Please ask for some clarity. Okay, there is one on Kavitz, Musielele.
Yeah, yes, thank you. I think Sihle might have clarified on the 2%, but I just want to find out, because we might be doing claims or draws. Will the 2% be for the overall, or will it be as per invoice? Because I see on the document it says as per each and every invoice. So I'm just trying to clarify, is it based on the whole sum, or is it on an invoice to invoice basis?
Look, ultimately, it's based on the whole sum, but the payment of that will be as per the invoice. So as you send an invoice, depending on the phase that we agree, that's when it will be doable, will be payable. So I'm just trying to cover the whole question that, look, the total value of the project, the 2% service fee is billable, but the payment thereof will be based on, the invoice from the institution, from you
So it's
signating.
2% including VAT or ex-VAT?
Well, it's all inclusive. It will include that. Yeah, it's all inclusive.
So I think then if you just put it before on P's and G's, when you total it up, it will be inclusive of that on your total amount. I think the other, just for you guys to think about also, maybe you can include that 2%, spread it out in line with your rates that we are going to be pricing for with the items below on your BOQ. So if you put that 2% within each within your rates, it will make your life, I think, a bit easier as well. Just a thought.
Colleagues, questions in Q&A going twice. Dineo?
Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to say, you remember last time when we attended other briefings, you guys were able to post scope of works for us so that we can be able to score ourselves before we can purchase the document. That's what I wanted to say.
Yes, we're going to do that as well.
All right.
We'll do it probably by the end of today. It will be up. I'm not too sure how far my colleague is here. We'll do that. It's also important, colleagues. I think from my point of view, I do feel strongly about the fact that we must give you as much information in order to make a decision. So that aspect will definitely assist. Is there anything else, Dineo? I see your hand is still up.
No, that's all. Thank you. Sorry about that.
If you just lower it, please. Just.
So guys, if there are any no more questions, I reiterate, please submit on time, please, and make sure that you complete the document, each and every page that needs to be completed. If you are not going to be, there is no information on that page that you are going to complete, just write not applicable, NA, so that your document is complete to it entity. So please make sure that each and every page is completed and you go through the document and submit on time. I can never stress that enough. So please make sure that, because we want to get this thing out of the way now. It's been long overdue. Probably long overdue is an understatement as well. So we really want to get this thing done.
Maybe please just lower your hand. I get confused if maybe it's a new hand or since it's a legacy hand. Hi, Dineo. Okay.
Hi, I'm sorry. I'm struggling to remove it.
Okay, no, it's fine as long as there's no question you have. I don't want, because the recorded session, that your hand was still up.
Put it in the pocket like black coffee,
Colleagues, then yeah, I think again to emphasize the closing date and time, as has been stated, please start accordingly. You are able still to ask questions even after the session. We want to give you as much information as possible to submit a proper proposal so we can evaluate and again get a proper service provider to do the work. So if there's other questions after the session, please feel free to ask. But again, be cognizant of the timelines. We cannot be giving responses on the 27th of June at 8 o'clock midnight.
But those questions must not include how much is the project value.
Okay.
Yeah, they mustn't ask us that. They must tell us.
Okay, no, 100%. If there's nothing else, colleagues, is there any last bite and that I'm take for me?
No. And that's all from my side.
Okay. Colleagues, I would like again to thank you for attending the session, to wish you the best of luck. Again, we look forward to receiving proposals from you guys. Again, to emphasize the aspect around including your details on the chat box that verifies your attendance of this session.
One more thing, Tsepo, before
Okay.
I almost forgot. On your methodology, please make sure that it speaks to this project. It must be project specific. So don't just include a general methodology that you have somewhere, because it must be in line with your program as well. Thank you.
All right, Lincoln. I see you. Let's take your hand.
Just a good morning to all. Just a question. My thoughts is the methodology you guys are asking for and rating points for. Surely, if you're a GB5, you don't need to explain how to be building and painting walls. Surely that should be given. I can't understand why that forms part of the qualifying criteria. Your GB is your qualifying criteria. Just an option. Just something to think about.
No, it's not. Your methodology goes into how you're going to be managing your site. It does not tell me how you want to paint the wall. It tells me how you're going to manage your site, how you're going to manage your program. Your 5GB, your grading does not is not a qualification to say you cannot submit a methodology.
No, that's not what my point is. I mean, surely it's a given that if you're a 5GB contractor, you do know how to run a site, because that's my question.
Nothing is given, Lincoln. Nothing. We can never assume anything. That is why we want everything to be submitted, because once we start assuming, that is when we're going to be making mistakes. Once we start to assume that a grade 5, we've got the grade 9s that are failing on projects. Grade 9 that cannot give a correct program. So we cannot work on assumption.
It's important, Lincoln and colleagues, treat every project in isolation. You might have done 1 million tenders with 1 million values. We're looking at this tender. Your methodology must be in line with how we want it. You might be the biggest company in the world, but if you're going to fail on aspects that we're requesting regarding this tender, then you won't proceed. We never work on assumptions. We never work on that we've known you before. It does not work like that when it comes to the procurement process, at least the ones that I've been involved in. So please treat this as what it is. And again, VUT is a big institution. So take your time when you're putting together the documents. Small things, colleagues, that sometimes count in terms of who's the awarded bidder. Of course, aligned to other conditions of the tender. Colleagues, I'm going to officially close the session, but aligned with how I've been treating the other tenders, will give you around 5 to 10 minutes. My colleague Polisa will stay so that you can complete your details on there if you have not done so already. Again, that's the mechanism we're going to use to ensure that you have attended this session. I'd like you to wish you a blessed Monday, and again, good luck for the submission. Thank you, colleagues.
Thank you, colleagues. Have a good day. Bye.
Thank you.